national or local grocery stores would be coming back to this area? I know we have Redner's and there was a trial, and I'm not quite sure what's happening with that other grocery store. But we used to have Mars, we used to have, as you mentioned, Giant. Is there any prospects of and I know you can't be specific, but is there any prospect?
Well, not at my properties, because my grocery stores have exclusives. So at Joppatowne, I have Redner's, they're my tenants. I built that, I literally built that store for Redner's. And then recently, we opened up grocery outlets at Edgewood. I understand, and I had no idea what the grocery outlets was like. We started, doing a nationwide search for grocery stores. We found this company out of California that was looking to come to the East Coast. They have literally, I think now they're probably pushing 600 grocery stores in the country. Grocery outlets, what they do is they find a franchisee to take over it. The gentleman, if you never met him, you have to go in there and ask for the owner. He's usually there every day. He works there. His sons work there. His wife works there. I mean, it's old school family grocery store operation. Sort of reminds me of the days when Gerspecks started. As far as Mars goes, I saw that whole thing from beginning. I mean, I know Pete Deanna from years ago, and probably what little time there was, that I was around prior to coming to work for David. My wife was a commercial produce merchant, so I understood the industry pretty well just from her perspective. But Go is doing pretty well, I think. I buy some of their products from them. I hope that as many people as can. And the gentleman, since he is a franchisee, and all the Go's are, if you got something that you think would be better, just ask for the owner, ask for the manager, and talk to him. He'll listen to what you have to say. Redner's is doing really well. Contrary to what Redner's, when we first had the Amish market, a lot of people know, some people don't, that Redner's didn't like the idea of it all. They thought that it breached their exclusive, and they sued us. At the end of the day, nobody won, except for the attorneys, probably. I guess you could say the attorneys all won. But and it limited some things that the Amish could do. But the federal judges who were involved, because it was a federal case, said, no, this is not a direct competitive grocery store. I don't think it is. I mean, I'm there a couple days a week. I have a satellite office out of that building, so I have my office downtown. I have an office in Carroll County where I live, and I have an office at Joppatowne. So I see what happens with the Amish every time I'm there, and I'm trying to get them to expand. I'm trying to get them to, and we do customer counts. I had no idea what it was like to run a retail facility myself. They told me, David told me, you can do it. You've been in the industry for all these years? I said, yeah, but I've never run one. So we have a young man that sits at I call him a young man because he's 65 years old, so he's considerably younger than I am. But he sits at the door, and on Saturday, we had 550 customers per hour. So somebody's coming there. Somebody's shopping there. But Redner's, I get, in our industry, we plead for tenants to give us their sales. So I get to see Redner's sales, and Redner's sales has never dropped at all the entire time that they've been there. They've always increased. They took a tremendous increase when Mars closed. I feel sorry for the shopping center right down the street here that hasn't been able to backfill that big space. So at least one other person in the room's on a committee that I helped the president of county council start years ago. What did we call ourselves? The Route 40 Redevelopment and Enhancement Committee, I guess. The president of the county council and I sat down, broke bread one day, and he asked me about being on the Worcester County Planning Commission, which I'm a Carroll County resident, but I was on the Worcester County Planning Commission. And we talked about things, and I said, look, let's get all the businesses together. That's what you want to do. And I think we started it off, him and I, then our next meeting, we had about a dozen, and sometimes we're up there at the, up by what I call the old Beta Shoe Factory, because I always date myself. What did we have up there last time? 200 or 300 people, at least? And up there, I want every shopping center to survive. I want every shopping center. I believe in what I call sustainable development. I don't think you should build anything new until everybody else is occupied. And what I've suggested at that meeting, and I talked to the president of Hartford Community College about, is that building that used to be the grocery store, I could refit that as a Hartford Community College satellite center in a heartbeat. You know, I think that would be so if anybody wants to put that in the ear of, feel free, I mean, I'd love to be able to have them in one of mine. I have no room, so I'd love to see them in.
Is anybody interested in that space yet?
We have a few more questions.
So, go ahead.
Yeah.
More questions.
Let's get some more questions.
I think, ma'am, in the back, somebody, yes.
I did, and I don't want to take up a lot of time, but some of it you kind of answered. But I just wanted to pose this question to you. You said that the Cordish Company, the Edgewood location was their first.
Yes.
And my question is, in comparison to all the other facilities that you have, how does Edgewood compare as far as like the infrastructure and the upkeep that you're looking to achieve here in this area? For us as residents, we feel like it's been kind of neglected. So my question would be, how do you feel so it compares to the other places that you provide services to?
Well, most of our shopping centers are within communities. Just to give you an idea, on Route 40, I have Joppatowne Shopping Center, Edgewood, Havre de Grace Plaza, Northeast Plaza, and Big Elk Mall. They're all within our portfolio. And if you look at them, they're all dated. Okay, some of them have been refreshed, some of them haven't.
Not stated as Edgewood.
Well, literally, that's the oldest. So, there's this age-old thing where, when do we remodel a shopping center? Well, the storefronts that you've seen remodeled there most recently are the ones where we had tenants come in. A lot of times, our philosophy is you don't dump a lot of money into the interior of a building or even the exterior of a particular storefront until you know what the tenant wants. I've seen that mistake made. I took over a development for Johns Hopkins University where they had an architect and a builder completely build out the entire building for specific use. When they asked us to take it over, the first thing, in the meeting, they asked me, what are you going to do with it? And I said, I'm going to gut it and I'm going to remodel it. And he said, well, we just redid it. And I said, yeah, but it doesn't serve the needs of the prospective tenants that we have. So a lot of times you need to build to the needs of the tenant. Like I said, I've engaged I think I have enough tenants at Edgewood, and especially if I can backfill the 15,000 square foot old Goodwill and keep Big Lots there, and if I can't, get another National in their place, that will trigger a complete remodel of what I call the storefront fascias of the shopping center. Up until now, all we've done is minor. We did some column work, we did some painting, we did a little bit of fascia work, but we haven't done a tremendous amount of work to that shopping center, and I know it needs it.
This one is not, this is along those same lines, but, so when you are renting, leasing to tenants, is there anything in the contract that speaks to the fact of upkeep as far as it's set indoors and outdoors?
Well, the tenants are required to maintain the interior of their own space. And we, it's a little bit harder for mom and pa's. They have, and it's a little bit easier for nationals. You have some nationals that are set in their ways, and we're constantly harping on them to make their stores more friendly and better. But as far as the exterior goes, I think we try to keep it well maintained. We haven't done a lot of enhancements there. you know, there was some enhancements done along Route 40. Recently, I worked hand in hand with, well, I say recently, it was a while ago, but I worked hand in hand with Hartford County to put the new bus stop there. You know, I've worked very close with the county on that. And I think that was a benefit to a lot of people. But, you know, as we engage some of these national tenants, I think, you know, we're gonna see a change, you know, a refresh. In Chestertown, Maryland, after I had a series of new tenants sign up, including almost a doubling in the size of the Acme in there, at Kent Plaza Shopping Center in Chestertown, we engaged in one of those total remodels of the shopping center. Unbeknownst to me, I was invited to a town council meeting in Chestertown. Didn't know why, and said, okay, you know, they've got lots of questions for me, we'll see. And the very first thing they did was they embarrassed me by handing me an award for me remodeling the shopping center, and I said, I'm embarrassed, because it took 35 years to do it.
John, we wanna do
So,
that. We
yeah.
wanna hand you an award for when.
No, what was, what,
When
you
that
know,
happens, when
I don't,
that happens.
yeah, when if and when it happens, and I think it will. I think, so things are starting to turn around within shopping centers. Matter of fact, you know, I read an article on Wall Street not too long ago where a lot of these real estate investment trusts are going around trying to buy shopping center portfolios from developers like the Cordish Company. We're not interested in selling ours. But it tells us, and it tells our lenders, and it tells our tenants that there's a new revised future in retail centers. I don't think you're gonna see a lot of new ones built, but I think you're gonna see a lot of them repurposed, remodeled, and enhanced. So
Yeah,
another question?
Yeah, we have 1 or 2 more questions. Melissa has one.
Yes.
I do.
And then we need 2
We
more.
gotta be quicker with the
Yeah.
answers.
Yeah,
It's-
then we
The
need
stories
to
are
move
great,
on.
but just the answer, we gotta,
Okay.
we're over
Go
40
ahead,
minutes.
Yeah, I want to.
No,
No, go ahead.
it's-
Okay, so just really quickly, when we had a lot of vacant spaces there prior to Mike's Colgate Grocery Outlet, I did go down to, Baltimore to Growls Market,
Mhm.
and I spoke with them. I had that information, they wanted it to be in contact with you all for us to have one out here. I did the same for Trader Joe's, but I did hear your, remark about just one grocery store. So my other, I guess, concern is we have a lot to eat out here, but not enough entertainment. We have to go further out for entertainment. We have stuff for our kids, but not enough for us. So, bowling, skate, and movies, we just lost Abington Movie Theater, so we kinda want something for us. We're losing great restaurants. Is it what is our next step?
With regards to entertainment, I'll try to make it real quick for you.
Yeah, 'cause we need to move.
MCW Wrestling. When I say arena, my vision, and this is mine right now, I've got to get them to buy into it, but my envision is if we can create that as an arena where, you know, not only can you do wrestling there like they do, but you can do other sports similar to wrestling. And I even mentioned to them that, you know, why can't you have a comedy club here? You know, or something like that, because it would be, we're looking at it being somewhere between, right now it's up to the architects, but we're looking at it being somewhere between 1,200 and 1,800 seats. And if we could put an entertainment venue where you could have small mini concerts, comedy clubs, things like that into Joppatowne, I think it would be a good fit. So,
He's gonna leave his card so that if you have,
Just one.
okay, last question.
Yeah, just real quick. Somebody asked the flags at the Edgewood Shopping Center are tattered. Somebody asked if they
weren't
could
they
be
just
replaced.
replaced?
Maybe they were, but I heard about it today.
I think I just
so.
saw a bill from Haxel.
Okay.
So, Haxel's our go-to company.
This is a serious one because it's coming from the business.
And make it quick because we're already.
I got you, I'll send him
and I
the
got a
other
lot to cover
questions.
tonight.
But right now, you have the Dollar Tree talking about closing and leaving both Joppatowne and Edgewood because of the crime issues. And, you know, the manager at the Edgewood one gets a lot of complaints from customers and stuff about the lighting, the condition of the parking lot. You the sheriff, he's put extra people down there. We're losing stores. You say that you all are in touch or want to be in touch with the community, but they're building houses here. They had an open house and people are saying, well, they weren't interested because of like what she was talking about, how things look and the services not being there. And one of the problems the two Dollar Trees are having is the kids coming in and stealing. So how soon can you get something like a roller skating rink or a multi-purpose entertainment thing? And are you all considering, when you go for business, like I said, you have those houses down there that need to be filled up. Mercy Hospital, they're opening a bunch of satellite centers. They've done Lutherville, Columbia. Their employees want to work in Harford County. Nobody has contacted them and approaching them. So I just want to make sure that you're cognizant of these things, because the county executive wants to revitalize the southern area, want to get things better economically, but you can't do that if people don't want to move into the area because they're like, well, there's not the infrastructure or the businesses there for us. Or if you have your current clients like Dollar Tree ready to pull out or bad-mouthing the center. Isn't there something you can do to help them with the robbery? I mean, the police are employing drones or something. Something has to give. It's got to be cleaner.
Well, I will be in
lighting.
touch with Dollar Tree, because I haven't heard anything from them.
Oh, I could-
Okay.
gave you
And I will
managers'
be
names.
more than happy to contact corporate Dollar Tree and find out, you know, exactly what their problems were. And typically when I hear something like this, I ask the local municipality, police department, sheriff's department to give me a crime report, cause that tells me what's been going on.
Yeah, that
So
was the gentleman that was.
I will do that for both of the Dollar Trees.
If you had-
I am aware of some crime at the Dollar Trees, and we have been an intricate part of at least apprehending people after the fact because of our camera system. You know, crime prevention is an ongoing situation, but, I just left you my card.
Yes, I will
Please send me
email you
a
everything
detailed
else.
email, and I will share it with Raj from Economic Development. I'll share it with the county executive, with the president of the county council, and, I'll talk to the tenants. Okay, that's just what I get out of
I
meetings
appreciate
like
that,
this.
and I
So
hear
I'm-
what you're saying.
There's some other folks
putting
here that
faith
would
in
really
you.
like to have the card.
That's what, you know what, hey, why don't you leave them here, and then
Right.
we'll make sure they
Okay.
get.
I'll leave it once in a
Yeah, 'cause
while.
another question that came up was, can we trust y'all?
John, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All right, just real quick. We need one more. Oh, that's right.
tried.
Real quick, before we go on with our regular, agenda.
Were there any more cards?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
they're
got
there.
them up here, yeah.
Come after the,
After the meeting.
after we finish talking.
Anyway, we have an announcement that I think the community would like to hear, and I'm gonna ask, and Dion's been asked to give the announcement because the person involved is not here this evening, so Dion, make it quick though, cause we got a lot to cover
Do
tonight.
it because there's two, you know. There's
Well, I
two.
know, but we got a lot to cover.
I'll do the best I can. First off, everybody knows about the bridges, Gunpowder River and the Bush River. Not to mention only those two, but every bridge from Baltimore to New York, railroad bridges are being replaced. The Gunpowder River, that's a $30 million project, and the one at Bush River is $20 million. Give you an idea, if you've been over to Happy Grace, they've been already involved in replacing that bridge, and that's a big one. That's costing $1.2 billion, that one bridge. The whole project from Baltimore to New York is $2.2 trillion. Hopefully something doesn't happen to that with this new administration, but, you know, hold on to your breath. Something that I've been involved in both that and the other project for the last couple of years, and Amtrak has been involved, and I'm gonna involve our council member here involved in this conversation, because early on, when she first took over, I sent her an email, and I called her, and she knows I did. I congratulated her on her seat and offered to help her out, whatever she wants to do. She sent me an email back. Remember that? Email you sent back to me? You didn't.
But let's move on with that.
Well, there's the purpose of this. The email says, "Good morning, Dion, it's Nolanda Roberts. I just wanted to say thank you for calling and saying congratulations, because I congratulate her." This is her email. "And I am like hit or miss, but usually available around lunchtime to have a conversation. Thank you, my phone number is such and such. Have a nice day." So she said to call her. I called her the next day between noon and 1, didn't get her, left a message. Never called me back. I waited a couple more days, I called again. And the point is, that I sent, and you all got it, mostly everyone of you got this email I sent to your office and asked to have this is an important part of this. It had to do with the file. It has to do with the file with the Amtrak, okay? And there's a file I've got that has a lot in it. It's from two senators, from the congressman, it's from Castley, it's from Joe, who's now the congressman. We have a document from the county council supporting the raising of the bridges. I sent him an email and asked him, please copy that file and send it to Amtrak, because a lot of us in this room got this thing that we filled out and sent in. And it had Amtrak's, not this one, but this one.
What's the announcement?
Pardon? The announcement about it. So I asked them to send that, and there's the Amtrak's to send it. No reply, and I assume you didn't do it, because they didn't get it.
What's the announcement?
Well, the announcement is that they are entertaining the increase of 25 feet, but they want to get all the information they can. And it's important that that file gets sent to them. She represents this district. You don't represent the northern, the rest of the county.
That after
This
the
district.
meeting, what's the other announcement?
The announcement on that is that they are considering raising it to at least 25 feet.
Okay.
But we need to get them the information that all our congressmen and senators and a resolution from Hartford County, we need that sent to them. We got the information we expect you to do.
Okay.
Well, they put out a national.
All right, what's next? No
What's that?
questions, what's next? What's the second
Yeah,
announcement?
do the announcement.
The second announcement is the marina, okay? The marina, as of today, they settled and signed the contract. It's done.
With whom?
I can only give you one name. I spoke to them today. The other ones, there's about 3 or 4 of them are involved in this, investment. And Joe Wood should say, use his name, but nobody else's. I can't give nobody else's. Bad rumors, people calling the county executive's office. It's got nothing to do with this, has nothing to do with politics, has nothing to do with the county whatsoever. This is privately being purchased by Joe Woods and his investment people. Signed, sealed, and delivered. I spoke to him today about it, and so he's giving me this right to release this information. And he says, tell everybody, I'm sorry I can't be there, but they were in the process of putting all this paperwork together. It's going to be, if it goes the way he's going, I was there last Saturday with him, working with him all day in the place, because my wife's gonna help him set up a seafood place, because we used to own a crab depot down there, and she's gonna help him set up crabs. And, they're building a big pavilion out on the point, they're gonna have restaurants there, they're gonna have condos up at the fence. There's no other condos being built anywhere. There was all these rumors, they was tearing it down, they would build all the, no. Number one, you couldn't do it in the first place, because you can't build anywhere from the water line to 100 feet. That's the first place you can put a shovel. It's 100 feet off the water. When you get that on the side, you're in the backyard of those people's houses. You know, that whole row there. So forget it. Your best shot is up against the fence and a whole row, and that's it. So anyway, he's got great ideas. They're going to make a big investment here. They're definitely going to come next month, and they're going to have flyers and let all the people know that. They said, and I said, Joe, listen, I want to ask you something, because the people want to know this. They want to know Marine Max is out of the subject whatsoever. I said, they're not financing it. No, they're out of it totally. We have our own money. We're financing it, and More to
But
come.
he's gotta
Thank you,
ask this.
thank
Any
you.
questions?
Thank you.
No. Okay.
So Dion talked about the survey from Amtrak, and I don't know if everybody's already done it or if you haven't done it. My only coaching on that is, do not give them answers of what you have today, boat-wise or size-wise or how you use it. Give them an answer that says, I use it this way today, but I would buy a different boat if that bridge was different. I'm buying this boat today because I have limitations, because that's constraining our economy here locally in developing properties like this, right? So I put down in the comments, just me personally, and just, you think about it, right? Don't build it for the solution I have today, build it for the solution I want, because it's never gonna get touched for another 100 years. The bridge isn't getting rebuilt again for 100 years.
Yeah.
So I was like, they asked the question the opposite way. What's the maximum height you could go? That's the way they should be thinking, in my opinion.
It looks like 25 feet total. That's
Okay.
double, that's more than double.
What did they
The only
say?
other thing I would tell you is that since this mariна's been closed down, it has been an economic hit to Joppatowne. And
Alright,
Edgewood's got the same problem.
and then
Well,
that's
he has-
it.
he-
Okay.
he has-
Real quick, where do you get the survey?
It came in the mail.
Some in the mail, and
Just from the island.
It came in the mail.
Yeah, but
You
not, we didn't, other people in Joppatowne.
Joppatowne didn't get it. Rometown.
Oh, okay.
You need all of Joppatowne.
Yeah.
Where do you get the
I
survey?
don't
you
get
should
it.
be going to
Yeah.
Amtrak.
Tell you what,
What's the time?
if you give me the survey, I can send it out to the 300 mailing list for this ad.
All right.
If you'd like
Will that
that,
work?
I can do that.
Bill, make it real quick because we really have a
Send me
lot
the
to cover.
list.
This gentleman
That's
has-
it.
Survey.
All right, hang on a minute.
Entire question.
All right, hurry up. Go ahead. Go ahead. Bill, go ahead.
He's done. He's done.
That was my question.
This gentleman
Oh,
has-
okay.
They sent out this survey and then said it was due February 1st.
No.
Is that true? Because I got it 2 days before February 1st. I live on Bush River. I got a lot to say about that
Right.
bridge. And it didn't seem like they were really interested in what we were
I mean, the only thing we can do is send it out and everybody send it back in, and then, a lot of times they'll tell you a date, but then, they don't even get to read it on February 1st, so I imagine that if you
Actually,
got it and
it
send
says
it back.
January 31st was the cutoff.
Well, we'll figure that out. We'll send it out, and we're moving on to the next agenda
Yeah,
item.
send it out, so, okay.
Well, I need one.
All right, so we'll get you a copy, and then she's gonna send it out. We're moving on, Samantha, you are up.
I'll make it quick. I've heard we need to make it quick, which is fine with me. John, thank you for being here tonight. My sister often brings me fruit from the farmer's market because she lives down in Joppatowne, and I don't know if anybody in here has had it, I know you don't want stories, but they're like fresh sliced fruit, and they have like a strawberry fruit dip. That's like my weakness. If you haven't tried it, highly suggest it. Just a couple things from our office, and then I'll yield most of our time to our new council member, Robert. So I did bring the county council highlights. I apologize for being a couple minutes late. I work at the Arena Club part-time, for those of you who don't know, or if you're looking for a personal trainer, I can do that too. But I left copies of our county council highlights in the back, and I did send them to Gloria, as well as an updated newsletter. There was a little typo in the public hearings for the budget that are scheduled in May. And I'll go over those probably in the April meeting, just so people have that. But two things I just wanted to highlight, special presentations that we had at our last council meeting. The Police Accountability Board did their annual report to the county council. I highly suggest tuning into that and just listening and seeing where the reports are coming from and kind of their perspective on things. And then the State of the County and the legislative address was given on January 14th by the county executive and the county council president. One important thing to note from our office is that our health officer is retiring effective in June. Marcy has been with us for several years, has been permanent health officer since 2022, but has served in acting several times, and this will be Council President Vincenti's fourth time appointing or being on the committee to appoint a new health officer, so that is information forthcoming. We're trying to get somebody in place kind of to shadow Marcy before she leaves. We had a call with the deputy secretary last week, and we kind of got that ball rolling, so if you know anybody who is interested, either a doctor or a non-doctor, preferably local. It will be a nationwide search, but we do like people within and kind of that know Hartford County. So if you know anybody interested, that'll be forthcoming, and that'll be in our newsletter. As soon as that job posting goes out, we'll send it out as well. Those are the only two things that I had. Did anybody have any specific questions for the council president's office? Okay.
Okay,
Keep up the good work.
thank
All right,
you.
thanks.
Sorry, girl.
And I emailed it to you.
Happy New
All
Year
right.
to everyone. We didn't have January meeting, but it is still a new year, 2025. Before I get into the county executive's information, I'd like just to take a few seconds. Timekeeper, don't go to sleep this evening. We've had two tragic airplane incidents, the helicopter and the plane that collided. If we could just take a few seconds of silence and prayer for those families and those young people that lost their lives. Thank you. The county executive, and you'll have this information on our website, but I want to give this information first. If you would like to write some dates down for what's going on here in Harford County, I'm going to give this to you in date order. Taxes are coming up every year. Tax credit for qualifying seniors and for veterans. We have information on that. And Bob Brown is still in charge of our veterans. But tax credits are available. The Household Hazard Waste Day is Tuesday, February the 4th, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Flyers are coming around. That means you can get rid of 2024 that way. There will be a Harford County Executive Bob Castley is having a town hall meeting. It's on the budget. That is Thursday, February the 6th, 6 p.m. It will be held at the Edgewood Recreation Center, 1980 Brookside Drive here in Edgewood. There will be a Minority Small Business Resource Fair, which is February 26th, 9 a.m. to 12:30. Held at the Converge Center, 1201 Technology Drive in Aberdeen. A few flyers are coming around for that. All of this information being shared with you this evening can be found on the county website. Utilize that website, www.harfordcountymd, that's Mary and David, .gov, God over victory. If you don't have a computer, go to the library. They're still free thus far. It has Bush Declaration 250 years, celebrates March 21st through the 23rd of this year. This flyer is coming around as well. Once again, we are having a housing fair. When I was employed with Harford County Housing Community Services, I was a part of that team. It was very successful. If you're still renting, rentals are still going up. If you buy, your mortgage might stay a little level, so you might want to give it some thought, because rentals are not going to go down. They're going to continue to go up. 543 has a rental there, $3,200. That's the one bedroom. So there will be a housing fair. First-time home buyers, it's a workshop. That will be March 22nd, next month, 9 a.m. to 1:30, the Epic Center at Edgewood, 1918 Pulaski Highway. So those are the flyers that I'm passing around. Sorry, I never have enough flyers. 2025, the county executive's focus is on public safety, responsible budgeting, and the quality of life. Those are his priorities. And he wants to continue doing those particular areas for 2025. He's citing public safety as one top priority. The takeover of emergency medical services with 17 fully staffed ambulances is operating countywide. He's delighted to report that thanks to our efforts, EMS response times are down. They're going down, and we're saving lives every day. He'd like to thank all of our volunteer fire departments, EMS response times as well. He is carefully evaluating their request, and he wants everyone to know that it's perfectly clear that we are being well served by our volunteers, but we cannot ignore reality. It's imperative that we continue planning for the introduction of some level of paid fire service as resources permit. Regarding the new law enforcement, our county executive has stated our promise is to keep Harford County's sheriff deputies our top funding priority. That ensures our safety here as citizens. Over the first 2 years of this administration, he states, we have increased police compensation by 14%, and we will continue our investment in these outstanding men and women. We have funded 10 new deputies and 4 new SROs, and that will soon increase to 7. The county executive has provided $1.1 million to public schools. In the aftermath of that issue at the Joppatowne High School, and we all remember that horrendous situation, that shooting, the county executive has upgraded security countywide, not just at that location, but countywide. The county executive has also continued to support laws that would inform schools about serious juvenile offenders and prevent violent youth from returning to schools and community. You know what he's talking about? You have one child to go from one school with a background that's damaging and they end up in another school. That's what the county executive is talking about. Regarding traffic and the roads out here, he said that regular meetings he will be establishing with the Maryland State Highways Administration. We're showing progress in several projects, including a roundabout for the dangerous Maryland Route 23, if you know where that is. Citing once again that education is his priority. He wants to make it very clear, not just the Joppa area, but every school here in Harford County. He's looking into those safety issues. In addition, he has said that 87 million Homestead Wakefield project is moving towards or moving forward, and he plans to take that underway in a combination of elementary schools, the Harford Academy replacement facility in Bel Air. Regarding the county's budget, this administration saw challenges coming for the past 2 years. Despite the county executive being criticized in this administration, he has already taken multiple steps to reduce spending, and he has outlined that information. Once again, resort to the website. Think of it as our version of the DOGE. Do you know what the DOGE is? Department of Government Efficiency. We're under new worldwide administration, you know. And the county executive has coded that as DOGE. Before there was a DOGE, he said, referencing plans by the President-elect Trump to cut unnecessary spending and maximize efficiency at the federal level. So everyone's aware of the cuts. That's how the planes and the helicopter had their issues. The county executive thanked the council for their support for increasing impact fees on developers, which had not been done for 20 years. Those who chose to use government services should pay their fair share for those services rather than shifting the burden onto our taxpayers. Citing Governor Moore's recent speech urging the state and county leaders to cut spending and grow the economy, the county executive Castley said he agreed with the governor, adding, "We cannot tax our way out of this physical challenge. The world is changing rapidly." Amen. He said Harford County is well positioned for economic growth. Instead of being a dumping ground for mega warehouses that chew up real estate and offer little in the way of living wage jobs, we are growing well-paying, moderate, and manufacturing jobs and expanding opportunities for our local business people here. Sorry. He thanked the council for supporting his efforts to stop high-density apartments from being built outside of the urban areas. He said the long-awaited Mar and Par Trail connection was expected to be completed by March of 2026. And he has outlined thousands of acres of farmland preserved and parks being planned under his administration. There are many improvements that the county executive is working on. In closing, whether you live in Bel Air or Belcamp, Jarrettsville or Joppatowne, we're all neighbors. I live in Aberdeen, but I come here to give this information to you from our county executive. Every one of us matters. No one is expendable. And we are all up to the challenge of making our country the best it can be. I see it every day, says the county executive. We are rising together and the state of Harford County is strong. Go to our website. Have a great day.
Okay. Don't pull the D on
Well, as we know, we didn't meet last month. Some of you remember we called you to meet last month. There's been several fires, and let me tell you, I had to cut it down from all this. So I brought some flyers in tonight that deal with lithium-ion batteries, electric space heaters, portable fireplace safety. The reason why I brought those back again tonight, several of our fires involved every one of these. As a matter of fact, in Philadelphia, there was a lithium-ion factory fire that went out of control, and it took them almost a week to put it out. Lithium-ion batteries are very dangerous, so just be careful with that. There's a new, I told you a couple months ago about a new program for seniors. It's called Steps to Fire Safety. One maybe time evening I can present it here at the cab for you guys. Several fires throughout the state, but Earlville, we had one for $100,000 electrical shortage, one in Perryville for $50,000 pellet stove. We had another one in Cecilton. Guess what? Pellet stove. They're not being cleaned. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. The flues are not being cleaned and they're not being put in properly, let's say. Aberdeen, we had one for $75,000. Discarded cigarette. Discarded cigarette. Just thrown out the back door. Couple in Hagerstown for thrown down with 7 vehicles accidentally ignited in a garage. Okay.
Ow.
Give you 3 guesses. One of them was electric.
Oh.
Okay. One in Rising Sun. Churchville, we had a $10,000 RV. You probably heard about that one, $10,000 damage. They thought the guy was in there, so we thought it was a rescue at first. However, it was a short within the electrical system. We had one on Declaration Circle not too long ago in Belcamp. Not sure exactly how it started, but it appears to be an electrical failure. In Jarrettsville, we had a deck on fire, $55,000 damage. Guess what? Discarded ashes from a fireplace that were not put out. And one in Bel Air for $650,000, where I think you heard about this one back in November, where the car ran into a house, happened to hit the gas main. Again, it's one of those freak things. Sheriff's Department handled that. And one other one that happened recently, within a couple of weeks ago, was one with solar panels. I've talked about it before. I told you I had a friend in Haverty Grace, lost his house, over $500,000 more. He just now started. They're getting to the rebuilding stage. He's not putting solar panels back on the house. The solar panels prevented the fire department from putting out the fire. Now, the one in Edgewood that we just recently had was a similar type situation. The solar panels prevented the fire department from going in and putting out the fire because those panels are charged. And during the process of listening to the call, the panels were shut off. The electricity was shut off. But remember, these panels are like batteries. They're storage items. There's still electricity in the panels. They put water on the panel. Guess what happened? Came back and knocked a firefighter down. Thank goodness nobody was injured seriously, but they couldn't get to it. This started underneath the panel at the electrical connection. So again, two things. We couldn't get on the roof to ventilate the house, which is part of fire prevention right off the bat. And a firefighter one, and ventilate the house, let the heat go out. Couldn't get on there because solar panels. Number two, the fire was underneath the solar panel, and they couldn't get it to discharge because the fire's under and burning through the roof and into the attic was not able to get to it. So we had to let the fire burn until they could get those panels discharged. Need I say more? Okay. I know they tend to save you money. You know, there's a big farmer out there and the big. I know we've got a couple solar panel fields going in the area in Hartford County. I'm not going to comment. I have my own opinion, but there's also facts that go with those opinions. Okay, we don't have to talk about that now. And one other thing I just want to talk about real quick is, believe it or not, there is a livability code in Hartford County. And for those of you that don't know, number one happens to be with fire safety. Imagine that. There must be a smoke detector on each level where there's a sleeping area in working condition that's less than 10 years old. The other one is the responsibility between owners and tenants. If you're a tenant, believe it or not, you're renting, you're not responsible for what goes on within that. If something's the matter with the building, the roof, the outside, the inside, you're a tenant, you're supposed to keep your area clean. However, the owners of the building, whatever, whether it be a house, whether it be an apartment or shopping center, are responsible for maintaining the livability code in Hartford County. It's in writing, folks. I'm not making this stuff up. Okay, so just remember that if you're a renter or something, it's a responsibility of the owner. I get a lot of calls for smoke alarms, people that are renting. Call the owners. It's their responsibility to make sure you have working smoke alarms and properly set. Okay, they must be less than 10 years old. And now you're going to see within the next, I think it's 2 years, CO detectors are going to be required in all homes. Right now, they're only required in homes if you're using fossil fuel, okay, like a fireplace, gas stove, or something like that. Okay, now, I think it's 26 or 28, I forgot now. I just had a meeting this past week, but anyway, they're going to be required in all homes. And there's now a new coalition, CO coalition, that has just recently been stood up over the past year because there's been several homes where people have passed away due to CO, carbon monoxide. You don't smell it, can't taste it, you can't feel it. You may feel ill at first. If you call and ventilate, then of course you're going to get out of there. But most of the time, if it happens during the night, I'm sorry folks, it's not going to happen. You know, you're not going to get out of there, unfortunately. It cannot be detected except with a meter. And they're going to require these in all homes, even if you don't have fossil fuels, because you may have a light bulb that may be giving off some kind of gas, believe it or not. LED light bulbs, you know, they're not incandescents anymore. Any of this can produce CO if they break, if there's something wrong in the house. So, other than that, the other thing we'll talk about real quick is portable fireplace safety. Now, we've recently had a couple of fires. I'll stay here. We've recently had a couple of fires, and there's been some information come out from the fire marshal's office on these portable fuel, the indoor fireplaces, basically. They use ethanol. Now, for those who don't know, ethanol is plant-based and does not release carbon monoxide into the atmosphere. However, people are not paying attention and using them properly. A lot of that information is on this sheet for you as far as portable fireplace. If this is something new that's happened over the last few years, the people are using these things indoors, and most of the time they're small tabletop things. You got to be really careful with that. Space heaters, again, we had one fire in Aberdeen 2 weeks ago because of a space heater was plugged into a power strip or extension cord. That makes difference. You can't do that. Okay, that's all I really have for now. Questions?
Will you be making your rounds again to the communities for checking the smoke detectors?
We're working on that now with the Red Cross. Thank you. They contacted me at least sometime in March. However, I will tell you, after this month, I will be down for the count for at least a couple of months. I'm having a knee replacement. I was gonna have it in December. I chickened out. I'll be honest with you. I was scared to death because I talked to 6 different people and I
Don't
got,
talk to anybody, you're gonna be fine.
and I had 6 different answers, what to prepare for what. That's that, anyway.
I believe it'll be
Yeah,
fine.
so I'm having it done March 5th, so I'll be down for the count for at least a month or so. But if I have any information, write it down, give it to Mr. Lyons right here, and he'll get it to me. Remember, write it down. He's not gonna remember if you tell him, okay? But write it down, he'll get it to me, and I'll send him information to give out the meetings. Yes?
Mr. Ron, real quick, how did the area do this year with the safety for Christmas? Did you all have a lot of Christmas tree stuff that you all had to go out?
Knock on wood, no.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, a lot of that was good, I think people got them done early.
Ron, we have one more question.
No, I
No,
said,
please.
hey, answer my question.
Oh, you answer
I know
it.
you had surgery, but will they come around?
Yes, the Red Cross is still coming around in March. I'm still working with Lady MJ, who's in charge of the Red Cross. She will be coming around, we will be setting up, the fire department will be with her. I just won't be there.
John, yeah, go ahead.
If I may put on one of my other many hats, I am on the advisory board for the American Red Cross, and I'm very attuned to what we call sound the alarm.
Sound the alarm program.
And if you would care to take one of my cards, send me an email about sound the alarm. I'll make sure it goes on our board agenda for Hartford County.
Oh, it is, I'm already working with them.
Yeah, but you just said you're gonna be down for the count.
I will be, but I'll still be handling
But
things.
I'll be,
He's gonna help you, Ron.
I'll help you.
What's that?
wherever
He's
I
gonna
can.
help.
I
He's
won't
gonna
forget,
help.
but yeah, I deal with the Red Cross directly, I deal with the guy that's now in charge of the program. He's traveling right now because of all the fires.
Right.
One more thing real
Well,
quick,
thank you, quick, yeah,
real quick.
because we got.
On these wildfires that are out in California. Do not think it cannot happen here,
New Jersey had it.
okay? Don't think it cannot happen here, okay? I'll leave it at that. But we are working on a new program for those wildfires.
Just real fast, the ambulances from Joppa and Abingdon in October, November, December had 2,000 responses. That's 2 at Joppa and 2 at Abingdon. Abingdon has a volunteer ambulance staffed a lot, and they're out too. The other point I want to bring up is I just had one of our members text me about 3 days ago. He was on the ambulance at 2 in the morning. Upper Chesapeake had 85 people in the waiting room. You've heard me tell you that. Unless you're really sick, don't call an ambulance.
80 of them are trying to get drugs.
Yeah, go to the doc in the box or whatever and get seen. Or if you have a local doctor that you go to, it's going to save you all kind of time. But if you're really sick, a priority 1 patient, chest pain, can't breathe, then call an ambulance. And the hospital, when you get there, the old saw was, I'll call an ambulance, I'll get seen before everybody else. Ain't happening anymore. Their triage as you come in is what you got. If you're really a priority 1 patient, you're gonna get seen. If you're priority 3, say with a cough or I just don't feel good, go sit over there and we'll get to you. And that's what's going on. That's quick. Next month we'll have some more information.
Okay. All right, so I'd like to introduce our new county council person, Yolanda Robert.
It's Robert, no S.
No S.
No S, no S. Thank you. This is my first meeting.
Welcome.
I've only been 3 weeks in, so I am still getting grounded. I will go back to Mr. Guthrie because I am 18 years from the court and I like to be factual and transparent. I didn't send Mr. Guthrie an email. I sent Mr. Guthrie a text message that when I was available, I would get back to him. Our attorney told us not to have contact based on current litigation. So I'm leaving that as it is.
Okay.
As it relates to Amtrak, we have been having communications with Amtrak. I did see the date on the survey, and I reached out to the gentleman on the survey to see if it can be extended. We do have the documents, and we are asking them what documents they want us to share, if in any, and we will continue to work with Amtrak. I think it's a great idea. One, because I am a boater. I have a boat. I've been under the bridge. Our little antenna has hit the bridge. So therefore, I'm fully aware. I think it's a great idea. I also know what it entails for the boaters that have really, really tall boats, what they have to do and what they have to go through and the phone calls they have to make in order to make things work. So I am on that, just to let everyone know. I also had started receiving emails about the marina. I used to be at the Joppa Marina before it closed. So I'm fully aware that it needs some work. And so I was informed that a settlement had taken place this evening. I also too know that Joe Woods is one of the people involved with that marina. The question that kept coming to me was about the restaurant issue and the building around it. My understanding is that the marina right now is still going to be a marina and the plan is to fix it up. At some point, they may establish a restaurant, but that's not going to happen overnight. They have to go through the DAC process. They have to go through formalization and everything else. I think it'll be a great concept for us to have more to do. I go to Flying Point, and I think that that was a great add-on to the community with the music, because I used to go all the way to Bowley's Quarters. And so that was taking money to Baltimore County. So now that we are having more revitalization here, this will give a great financial to our county. I did meet with the county executive, talked to him about some of the ideas, talked to him about what's going on with the Southern Task Force and all the great things that they are doing along with the Alliance. And I am all for all of that. We did talk about the Joppa Rec Center and what that's looking like, and I'm going to meet with Parks and Recs, kind of get a little bit more concept around that. I did, I forgot the gentleman's name with the Cordish group. John, he mentioned, playgrounds. One of the things I mentioned to the county executive is, when you're building some of these things, please look at the disabilities of others. I'm a child therapist. One of my big concepts is making everything disability accessible. So I explained to him about what neurodivergent meant, and with people on the spectrum, and how I'd love to see a playground that is sort of like, if you've ever been to Baltimore County, Angel Park, and it's all in that concept. And he said he'd see if we can get that in there and fit all of that in there with the idea of the concept of the rec center, etc. So I am gradually meeting with everyone. I am trying to get to know everyone. I've already met with 3P. We've talked about all the environmental things. Again, I've seen some stuff with the water, and I'm just trying to get everything on board. With that being said, I do have flyers. I have established 3 community meetings to hear the voices of everyone in the community. And you guys can hand this out. One is going to be at the Town Grill and Pub, one is going to be at the Venetian, and one's at the Abingdon Grill. That is to cover each jurisdiction that I am working with.
Yeah, make sure we get one.
Thank you. And I'll get one up there too.
Because that'll give me a better idea of the needs of the community at a fast-paced way. Just because I'm stepping in.
Yeah, do you have this on a web?
Yes, it's going to be out on, it's actually on my Facebook page right now.
Send it to me.
And it'll be going out in our newsletter. Debbie's gonna send it out in an email.
Okay, so we can send it after.
Exactly. Yep.
Because I'm sending it out tomorrow.
Okay. Can you scan that to send it out? Scan it, send it.
I'll get it to you, Gloria.
Okay.
All right, then
See, I'm
send
sending out an
Thanks,
email,
Gloria.
a survey. I'll just
We'll
include
send
this.
it
Okay.
out also.
Okay, and yeah, and I'll keep everyone posted when I hear back from the gentleman about extending that survey. So basically, that is what I have been doing in the past 3 weeks, and I've scheduled meetings with approximately 10 more agencies and businesses, from Pyramid to the Harford County Action, to meeting with the Alliance, meeting with the task force.
Okay. Well, thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
All right, I don't know if anybody's here, Andre, I know that, I got an email from Aaron.
You know you're pretty
Kennedy,
high
who's
maintenance.
unable to attend tonight, and it's legislative.
You know that.
So, is anybody here from Andre Johnson's office? Okay, then Robert Wagner, you're up. We're getting close, folks. It'll be before 9 o'clock, we're getting close. I'm trying.
Seems like every time I show up here, I tell you that with government, it takes a long time to get anything accomplished. And that's very, very true. Right now, we are in the process of getting the cameras somewhere close to going up in the Hartford Square area. The lines have already been identified as to where they go. You'll see flags for anybody that is in the Hartford Square community. You'll see flags that mark a lot of the routing and also where the piers will go for the lights and the cameras that are going there. There's 9 cameras, 7 piers, 9 cameras going in throughout the Hartford Square development at a cost of about $300,000. We're looking to overlay the walking path at Lake Serene. We're working on that with Parks and Rec. That's probably about $100,000 worth of blacktop. The bridges at Lake Serene, there's 2 of those that we're looking to repair and refurbish at $60,000. Isaac Walton Trail parking lot off Willoughby Beach Road, somewhere in the neighborhood of $50,000 to $75,000 for a parking lot there. And that'll be connected to a trail that the children from the schools can utilize. In the spring, we are going to be looking at coordinating a cleanup with state highways for the Captain John Smith Park, which is on Route 40. That's the little park area that has the picnic tables as you're going up Route 40 out of Edgewood on the right-hand side. It's a little overgrown. I know it's a sensitive area that they won't let you do a lot, but we'll see what we can do to try to clean it up some. The shoreline restoration at West Shore, we're working with several people on that to see what we can do. The problem with the West Shore shoreline is that the Isaac Walton League owns the whole shoreline around that community, so I'm not so sure what we can accomplish, but at least there's been some conversations. The county executive with Parks and Rec is currently working on a summer camp for the children in the community in Edgewood, and that we look for that to be a big success because that's something that hasn't been offered before. There's other camps available. I know last time I spoke with him, he was looking at that being a free camp for the children. So we're still working on that, but it's getting closer. Cedar Road, the agreement for the skate park, I spoke with Bang Tam tonight. I know that the school was working closely with her to get an MOU that allows 755 Alliance to do the work that they're going to be doing for that skate park and developing that. $400,000, oh no, I'm sorry, no, $40,000. We're doing a $40,000 job at the fields at Edgewood Park. I'm having a meeting tomorrow that we will discuss the scope of that work, but we're already committed to doing it and gonna make the fields that are there now much better than what they are. Tree Grant 755 Alliance is working with us on that. There will be a spring planning on that one. And Alonda, Robert, we want to welcome you to the council. Certainly, you're going to have your work cut out for you down here in the Edgewood, Joppa area, but it's a good group to work with, and we wish you the very best. So with that, I will pass it along and let you guys get out of here by 9 o'clock, but what do you got for me?
Oh, sorry, y'all. Real fast.
Huh?
So back to West Shore.
Right.
We actually just had our HOA meeting here about 2 weeks ago. Fast
Right.
forward to the point, they're pulling the trigger, and it's gonna be $35,000 that we're about to have to spend on a 1,100 square foot fence.
Right.
I'm trying to tell them that's not our position to use our money for because of what you just mentioned. So can I set up something off outside of here?
Yeah,
so we can
fine.
talk?
Call me.
Thank
Email me. You got it. Go ahead.
I just wanted to remind and kind of get on the record, Ultimate Water Sports, again at Mariner Point Park, you know, the county and them worked out something last year for
Right.
that. It worked out great for the community. I know that they pre-opened like 2 weeks before Memorial Day, and I just feel like we're burning daylight, so I don't know if Raj or whoever needs to get to Hal, I think is the owner.
Right.
And because he's got to hire people, commit to people, interview people. So I think we're getting late on that deal if we don't do something.
I'll check with somebody tomorrow to see where they are on that, to see if it'll
Yeah,
continue.
I think
It was a
he
good
worked- he worked
opportunity
with
in the
Parks and-
community for
He worked
sure.
with Parks and Rec
Right.
last time, so.
Right.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, he worked for-
Anybody else?
All right, thank you.
All right,
Rob.
thank you.
All right, Adam,
Okay. First of all, apologies for the live stream. Whatever. About the live stream. I got all of John Peters' presentation recorded, so I will post the recording of that later. And sorry for the movement and everything. So the whole thing is recorded. That will come later. It's not going to be part of this live stream. Tonight is the beginning of Joppatowne's next rotation in the emergency rotating homeless shelter. So that is happening right now at the JCC building. Oh, I have my name tag on still. So if you would like to volunteer or just come down and hang out, that's what we need mostly. Just a bunch of people to come make people feel like people. And we are going to be having a Super Bowl party on Sunday, so if you're looking for a place to watch the game, the goal for that is going to be making the people who are in the shelter feel like they're invited to a community party, that they are our guests for a party, not that they're living in a homeless shelter. So if you want to bring a dish down, if you want to come watch the game, anything is available. That'll be Sunday night. Next Monday, we are having a not next Monday, 2 Mondays from now, on the 17th, the Joppa Development and Heritage Corporation is meeting. Miss Robert, if you would like to come to that, I'll get you information about that. That's a group of people who have different committees in all kinds of different stuff, schools, parks, trails, all kinds of things like that, streets, transportation, zoning. So if you are interested in any of that stuff, we're a small but mighty group of people working on those issues. That's going to be on the 17th at the Joppatowne Christian Church building at 725 Tribble Road, if you would like to come to that. Trivia is still going on Sunday nights at Town Grill, so don't say that there's no entertainment down in this part if you're not coming to trivia, because there is. We had a really good night last night. There will be no game on Sunday because of the Super Bowl, but other than that, we should be good. And then also, I'm still working on community blood drives. We just had our first of this iteration of blood drives. We just had our first one at Joppatowne High School a couple weeks ago. Went pretty well. We could use some more donors. So if you're interested in donating blood, the next one is going to be May 5th at Joppatowne High School. We need to wait a little bit so that those of us who gave blood, you have to wait 56 days. So we're waiting on that. Other than that, I think that's all I've got.
Yeah, I just mentioned that Job Magnolia still has the bingos every Wednesday night at roughly 6:30.
More entertainment in town.
Okay.
And for really a fun night, Friends of Hartford is having a comprehensive zoning workshop. I know you're all excited. It'll be
And
February.
bingo, right?
Yeah, February 13th at 6 o'clock. I mean, if you're interested, this is all, it will be countywide, all the districts. We'll explain it if you want.
Where is that?
That's it.
Okay.
Plenty,
That was a question of whether
plenty
you.
time.
Where is
Abingdon Library,
that?
yes.
Two things real quick. I always like to promote businesses that are here in our area. And just recently, I had to have some automotive work done on my daughter's car. And I went to a place that I've never used before, and I'm gonna leave his cards up here, because I went to Dan's Automotive. That's right here, the same strip center where Ben's Tires is, right there. And they were wonderful. They were as pleasant as could be. They were right on the money when they told me what it was gonna cost. They got it work done, and they were just a pleasure to work with. And they're a local business, and so here's their cards. The other thing is that, I guess all of us from the CABs, because Ron runs the CAB also, have gotten an email that the county executive wants to speak at the CABs next month. So he will be on the agenda for March 3rd. And then Ron said he got an email, he's gonna speak at his, so I'm sure it may have something to do with the budget, I'm not sure. Didn't say why, just said put it on the agenda, I'm like, okay. So, yeah.
Just add to your point about Dan's, just if you have
Right.
a boat or if you need a trailer, I had my trailer redone by them,
Really?
did the bearings in the gear and all that.
They're
Did the inspection, did the lights,
nicest
so if you
people.
need a trailer done, they don't advertise it, but they'll do trailers for boats and stuff.
They were the nicest
You
people,
did too?
yeah,
Yeah.
they're the nicest people to work with, they were just as pleasant as could be. Yeah, no, when we get done with us, I'm like, totally done.
Hi, so we have Girl Scouts cookies.
Where?
They will be in Food Lion, but I'll bring some to the next meeting. I just them minutes, yes.
Samoas.
Samoas, have them, yes, so next meeting.
Okay.
Bring a bunch.
Nothing, I'm good.
Alright, I'll open it, hang on a minute, yeah, Sam?
Yes,
Bill,
thank
hang
you.
on.
Monta Miller with the 755 Alliance, and I just wanted to say that we're busy partnering with the county and doing many revitalization projects. We've got our contracts out for the skate park and just waiting for the last bit of the rendering to get the final approval. We have trees that we're planting across school properties. That's gonna start in March. That's the window that we have until May. And then we've also constructed one of two gardens, community gardens that's free to the public. That's gonna have an unveiling in May, and that will be at the Post 17 along with the Presbyterian Church. So we'll have one back there. But what's exciting is that we got our permit to host Sunday Farmers Market at the American Legion starting April through November, and that's going to be the first Sunday. So follow us on Facebook, because that's where we can advertise for free, and because all of our money raised goes to our projects and things like that. And then the last thing that I wanted to share is that we're going to be doing some revitalization work with the First and Hartford Square community under the CBDG, and many exciting things coming to Edgewood. So
thank you.
Happy.
Great.
I just got an email from Joe, all right?
Okay.
And he said, all signed, it's ours now, it's owned by locals again.
Real quick, if you haven't seen the flyer,
One at a time.
real quick, if you haven't seen the flyer for the gunpowder flotilla, that's coming up in April. There's no rush, but we're getting the word out fast. The other thing that came up was a hearing with the Maryland Department of Transportation about remediating the wetlands that have been destroyed by the I-95 limousine lanes.
Right.
And the current plan is to do almost nothing in Hartford County, and we fought them. We don't know what the result's gonna be. But we're trying to get them to remediate along Foster Knoll, along Ha Branch.
Yeah, what they do is they cut trees here in Hartford County and they replant them in Carroll County or Baltimore County.
And they replant 100-year-old trees, as you know.
Yeah, they cut down 100-year-old trees with that little.
Anybody else have anything? David?
How much are the Girl Scout cookies?
$6 gluten-free 7.
It
went up, I know.
This one goes to Padre. How you doing today? I know you all have been doing a lot with the homeless shelter.
Yep.
Has the Christian community, the churches, with all the disasters that have been happening here lately with the fires and the floods and everything else like that, have they done anything about pre-planning in the event that we have something major that happens in this area? And since the Christian community is supposed to be the one to step up and start taking care of people prior to the government stepping in,
So what are you asking?
are they looking at how many people they can support in the event that something major happens around here?
Give me an example.
You mean like shelter-wise?
Yeah, shelter-wise, I mean, you know, as you're saying, like fire, you know.
I feel pretty confident we can house 40.
But that, I mean, that's at yours, but I mean, the Christian churches in this area.
Could I answer that question for you?
Yes.
So emergency preparedness, what Lisa explained at the Harford County Health Department.
Right.
They did planning already for emergencies. So that might be a question for her and who she outreach to and what churches and facilities are already certified or set up to handle that type of situation.
Okay, good.
That would be good to know, have a list of them.
There is, so I will say, just to that point, one of our emergency managers for Harford County is the chaplain at Upper Chesapeake. Oh, wait. Gosh. Sorry. One of our emergency managers is the chaplain at Upper Chesapeake. His name is Thaddeus Siegel, and he is certified in all kinds of stuff like that. He coordinates with a lot of churches in Harford County. As far as the Joppatowne Edgewood area, there is a pastor over at Edgewood Assembly of God. His name is Brooke. He has asked me, and he's asked everybody. He tried to get everybody together, and I was the only one who showed up. So that wasn't for emergency planning. That was just kind of, let's get the pastors of the community working together, talking to each other. I have tried something similar in Joppatowne. Part of the problem with that, just for anyone's, if you're looking for the churches to step up, part of the problem that we have is a lot of the churches are on interim pastors. They're not on somebody like me who's full-time. So the guy who's over at Church of the Resurrection on Rumsey Island, he lives in Baltimore. And the guy who is the interim pastor, or maybe he's the full pastor now at Good Shepherd Presbyterian in Joppatowne, he lives in Delaware. So it's troubling. It's hard to get everybody together. But if you have concerns for that, Joppatowne Christian Church, I can only speak for me. We are an evacuation site for many of our local schools. We are hosting the homeless shelter. We're the only church in Harford County that's hosting the homeless shelter more than once. And we're going to be hosting 3 or 4 times possibly. So it's just one of those things where we'll do everything that we can, but we're also a congregation of about 40. So if you want to support your local congregations, you can do that. If you want to talk to Thaddeus, you can do that. If you want to talk to the health department, I can get you that information too.
Okay. Anybody else?
Oh, one last one.
Hang on. Ryan and Nichols, go ahead.
Just 2 things that came to mind that I did forget. As those who don't know, we had an apartment fire or a senior living fire in Bel Air last week. Okay. Jim and I were there not 6 months ago. We talked exactly about what would happen in case of an emergency like this. How will people get out? What happened was they panicked. Nobody knew what to do. We'll come around. I've got a new program that talks about this, and we emphasize if you're living in a senior living community, have somebody know what's going on and how to get out, and what are you going to do in a multi-level building if something does happen. The second thing I just wanted to tell you, and you talked about disaster, and I had that in my notes, but I forgot to bring it up. For those who don't know, there have been 3 minor earthquakes on the East Coast within the past 2 weeks. For those of you that don't know, there's a major fault line that runs right through Bel Air, right through the heart of Bel Air. In 2011, that's when we had the one, if those of you remember that, you know, I was sitting in the firehouse, was scared to death, but anyway, when it happened. So it is possible, so I want you to be aware that even though we haven't had anything yet, it is possible. So know what you're gonna do, be careful where you're gonna know, have a plan in place. If you don't have a plan in place now, when it happens, you're not gonna know, and I can't stress that enough. Thank you.
Anybody else before we end the meeting?
So let me,
Okay.
There's stuff up here.
young man, is that right in front of you, David? He came in late, is that, you're new, huh? And we know you're new, because we hadn't seen you before. Is there anything you wanna share with the group?
Sure, absolutely. I'm a little sick, so I apologize. I'm with Delegate Aircom. And she had asked me to-
Stand up, because we can't hear.
Lauren Aricon.
Get on the spot.
Lauren Aricon, District 7.
Oh, okay, all right. She's over my way.
My apologies. I don't want to keep us over, but I'm with Delegate Aircom. I'm a staffer for her.
So thank you so much for sending somebody.
Of course. She had originally intended to come as well as the chief of staff, but couldn't make it, so they sent me.
Okay.
The delegate just wanted to let you all know that she will be fighting for you to help limit any tax increases that may happen, especially as we face a deficit in the governor's budget. And additionally, she wanted to highlight that she has a lot of bills that are being drafted right now, but she's co-sponsoring a lot of legislation from the newly formed Maryland Freedom Caucus. So if you're interested in testifying, you can go to her website. On the Maryland General Assembly website, you can find her legislation, see what legislation she is sponsoring, what legislation she's co-sponsoring, and from there, you can sign up for to testify. If you have any questions or concerns, you can email us at lauren.aricon@house.state.md.us or call us at 410-841-3334. Anything else I can help?
Your name is what?
Donald.
Have you signed in so that?
I have not, no, but I can do that when we're done.
We're gonna get you to sign in so you'll be able to get our agenda.
Sure, yep.
Okay.
She's really good, cause I get regular emails, at least about twice a month, definitely at least once a month, where I don't get those from the other delegates, so she's really good.
If there's not anybody else, then we can adjourn.
Wait a minute, there's some important stuff going on. You got the state of Maryland coming up here. That's what I was trying to tell you about.
Okay, make it quick, it's 8:30.
Okay, on, the state, I don't know if you all have heard about the Bulletin 25-5 out of the Maryland, Insurance Administration, but it's changing things with about the types of payments that insurance companies can request of you. And so the Maryland Insurance Administration, they are coming on 2/5, 10 a.m. to 2 at the MVA, where you can meet with any of their reps. Also on 2/5, they are coming to, this Wednesday, they are coming to the Senior Center, Activity Center in Havity Grace. And then on the 10th, 2/10, they are going to be at the Edgewood Library, starting at 10 a.m. also to 2 o'clock, because there have been a lot of changes. That bulletin, you can get it. I subscribe to their email, so that's how I know all this. I get every state agency email. So it's important, because you don't want them doing illegal stuff to you that they can't take payments. So you can find out about all of this next couple days straight from the people at the Insurance Administration, why there have been some of the changes in the rates and different things going on. So I'm sure Delegate Johnson hopefully would have mentioned that if he had been here. And the last thing is Saturday, February the 22nd, 10 a.m. to just 2, the Health Department and the Humane Society is having the reduced fee vaccinations again. And in case there should be a weather postponement, you can keep up with that on the Humane Society website. But it's $10 for the shots. You can tell your friends because their thing is about making sure we have a lot of rabies incidents here lately. And so they are taking people from out of the county. They want to make sure pets are healthy.
Thank you for that. Okay.
Just one thing, taking off my council hat. A few of myself and my fellow alumni from Joppatowne High School, we are looking to start an official Joppatowne Alumni Association, similar to what Edgewood High School has. I've been in contact with their head of that. Unfortunately, her husband passed away, so that but if you or anybody else that you know is a Joppatowne High School alumni, I'm particularly looking for right now somebody who has experience in law, an attorney, or CPA to get that kind of off the ground. Feel free to send them my way. Anybody's going to be welcome, but just for now, I'm just trying to get a steering committee together. So if you know anybody, or you yourself are an attorney or CPA or accountant or something, please seek it.
The meeting is now adjourned.
How is it doing this year? Getting increase in.
Just send it in. Sorry about that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, it's okay.
Some more money for the shelter, okay?
Thank you.